Hello boys and girls, my name is Navikpal and I am the principal and CEO of a school in Dubai by the name of Gems Metropole School. Now, I'm going to take a few moments just to discuss with you who I am and maybe you can learn from me in terms of that. So Gems Metropole School is a school of nearly 3,000 students. So I lead a school of 3,000 students. In terms of staff members, I have over 350 staff members, over 180 teachers. Leadership, I have over 20 leaders that I lead. So it's a vast school, it's a very, very big school, something that you'll be used to perhaps, or not so much in the UK anyway. The school is from FS, so age 3, all the way up to your age and older, up to the age of 18, 19, A-levels, some students going on to university. So that's the school that I run. I have been a school principal now for 9 years. This is the 9th year I've been a school principal. I know I look pretty young for a school principal, but it's a long time, but I've been a school principal for 9 years. So that's in terms of what I do. Then the second question is, who am I? Well, I'm a proud father of 4 boys. My youngest is age 4 now, and my eldest is 20 years old. Again, I look pretty young for having a 20-year-old, but yes, my eldest has gone to university and doing dentistry, and he went from Sheffield as well. So I always associate myself of who I am as a family person, a family man, and my family means everything to me, as I'm sure it does to all of you as well. So why am I making this video, and what is it about, and how can you relate to it? I guess that comes into the next part. What is my journey? My journey, probably similar to some of you, and some of you can relate to and others may not be able to perhaps, I hope. But my journey came from, I come from a broken home, if you will, raised by my mother in the sunny part of Yorkshire, Bradford. And I came from a home which didn't have much. So just me and my mum living in rented accommodation, actually living on a council estate for quite a number of years, and obviously dealt with everything that came with the stigma of being living in a council flat and rented accommodation. So it wasn't a good start in life, didn't have much in terms of money, didn't have much in terms of being able to study and focus. My mother never spoke any English till this day, so I didn't have anyone to check my homework or support me or mentor me or advise me. And outside on the streets, it wasn't necessarily safe. I think it's a little better now perhaps, but it was very easy to get into trouble. Now, as a young teenager who didn't have many role models around them, and male role models perhaps in my case, it was very easy to look up to the wrong people, get into the wrong crowds, and I did do that in my early part of my life, but I was able to really, my mother I guess was my mentor, and focus and use the gym or boxing or sports as a means of escape and to stay out of trouble. But the key point here was, in terms of my background, there wasn't much opportunities to excel in life, and to be quite honest, an achievement, an accolade in my family was just to be able to go to university and do any degree. That was the achievement, that was the glass ceiling. Do a degree and that's the glass ceiling, as opposed to a life of crime. So the aspirations were not very high where I came from, and not just myself, my friends, many of them did well for themselves and others perhaps not so well. So our aspirations at your age, there wasn't much that was expected of us other than be good, behave, and pay attention in school, and graduate and perhaps go on to university with any degree and get a job, secure a job. And that was as far as it went. I guess similar to perhaps your age, I didn't do so well in school, obviously for obvious reasons. I wasn't an A-grade student. I got mainly C's. Did my A-levels, didn't do so well there. Took a gap year out, So I was a late bloomer, you could say, when it came to education. Took a gap year out, worked full time for a bank, and didn't know where my career was taking me, where my life should go. It was just a case of living with no real vision. And I opened some businesses from that time, and they seemed to do quite well. And I felt as though, right, great, I found something that I would like to do now. Whilst I was doing that, I decided to become a teacher. Not really having a passion for being a teacher. This was when I was around probably 22 years old. I became a teacher, and when I was teaching, I realized that I could make a difference to young teenagers' lives. I was a secondary teacher of psychology and economics, as well business studies. And I was making a difference to them, and I was a really good mentor, perhaps because they could relate to me a lot, and I was able to give them real life examples, and I made a difference. So something that was a job for me initially became a passion of mine, and lo and behold, it's become a career of mine, and something that I really love and enjoy. The rest is history, I guess. From then, I started to qualify more and more, did my master's, did various headship qualifications, and that was nearly, just under 2 decades ago. So as I went further on in my career, I became better at being a school principal, and that came from my original experiences, my work experiences, my business experiences, running a business, etc., etc. And what I've really got to say to you is, find yourselves a passion. Mine is education. For example, I manage revenue now of over £35 million. I got a grade C in mathematics. So what you need to look and think about is work hard in examinations, but know that you can achieve everything. I'm managing budgets of 35 million, and I consider myself to be really good at this. Yet my maths grade was a C. You can always achieve in life. That doesn't mean you don't focus on your grades. Your grades are important. Your opportunities might be better than mine. That was the best I could do under my circumstances. You can do far better. But the key point moving on is find opportunities, whether that be a work experience job for you and you've got to work hard for it. You've got to do that. I started working part-time from the age of 12, 13 with paper rounds. That gave me the work ethic to work hard. I cannot imagine myself ever retiring because I always want to work out of choice. You may be different to that, but bring those disciplines in yourself and those routines, because when the opportunity presented itself to set up my first school some 9 years ago, I could apply my work experience knowledge, my business setup knowledge, my talent of negotiating, banking knowledge, because I worked for a bank for a number of years, and applied it to that. And I didn't know it will serve me well, those transferable skills, but it did. So when the opportunity came, I was certainly ready to be able to take full advantage of that, and got myself into the career. Now, the opportunities will not always be presented to you. Most of my life, I've had many rejections, and I felt very insecure, and you will feel as though, why me? Why can I not get it? And you will always make excuses. Stop making those excuses. Those excuses for setbacks is not the way forward. You can always, that's to console yourself, but you need to find out and create those opportunities. Now, if those opportunities are where you live, or in my case, I had to go to a totally different country to find the opportunities, find them. The trains and the buses go every 15 minutes, I'd say. So the reality is you are limited by your own fixed mindset. If you have this growth mindset that, okay, the opportunities are not here where I am, they're in a different city, go and find those opportunities and start your career. If the opportunity is doing a particular qualification, go and do that qualification. If you didn't get the grades, resit and get the grades, and then go on to do your qualifications. Time, you're young, you can do so much. As you get to my age and you have children and you want to study, it becomes harder because that's no longer your priority. At your age, education is your key priority. So if you want to take another year or two to study graduate when you're 20, 21 years old and get onto the degree you want to do, or get onto the course you want to, or have the opportunity or the graduate scheme that you want to. Do it now, guys, because later it will become so much more difficult because it will not be your key priority. So education is absolutely key. I struggled, and it took me 10 years more to be able to find myself, and alhamdulillah, I'm doing well now from that. So don't be like me that it takes you 10 years. Take a year or two longer, get to where you need to. Create your own opportunities. I always say that you must paint your own sky blue, okay? And it's up to you. Don't make excuses for setbacks and failures. Keep trying, keep trying. And there will come a point where after you become established in whatever career you want to go into, you won't need to look for opportunities. Opportunities will be presented to you. So for the last 2 positions that I have been in, the previous one I was in for over 4 years, and this one now, prior to saying I'm in this school for over a year now, both these opportunities, I did not apply for the job. People approached me and asked me if I wanted to lead these schools. But that's because I built myself a good reputation of being a good school leader. You can do the same in whatever careers you want to. I wish you all well. I hope you've learned a little bit from perhaps my journey. It is very similar to most of yours because I come from a very similar background to you. Doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, what creed, what religious background. The reality is the types of communities you come from, I came from similar ones, and it took me a long time to find myself and improve. You can do the same, but it comes from you. So I will end with my advice to you is have a vision for what you want to do, but make that vision part of your interests, and you will be able to achieve that vision. Just imagine it in your head and achieve it, whether that is to run a business, whether that is to go into university and do a degree in something, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, medicine, law, whatever it might be. If your aim is to become a lawyer and have a practice, start to think about and visualize it, and put some timelines. A degree will take me 3 years, training contract will take me another 2 years, I have to save this much, and start to just pencil in these things and have that strategy in place for this vision, and slowly take it off. What's the best way to eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So don't think about the bigger picture other than having a bigger picture, and take small baby steps towards achieving it, and it won't be so intimidating and unachievable after all. Thank you for listening to me. I'm always happy to reach out to any community and speak to any school, any students at any point. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.